Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to see who is going to advance into the grand finals through the winners bracket for the GEST Dota 2 Challenge. Of course, this tournament brought to you by Dota Talk. Go check them out. Dota 2 Talk, or Dota 2 Talk, DotaTalk.com. They are the organizers for this event, the ones who made it possible, along with Gigabyte, along with the GEST, which is Gigabyte's sort of flagship Dota tournament. We've done a lot of other events for them. The GEST IDC, which is a fantastic long-running Dota 1 competition. I gotta say, their first foray into Dota 2 has produced some amazing games, especially in the Dota 2 Challenge. This is a best out of 3. This is your winner bracket finals, and who better to join me for the cast, me being LD, of course, of Beyond the Summit, than the man, the myth, the legend, Luminous himself. After a long hibernation, we're back casting together.
Pretty much a myth. I've been becoming a myth because nobody has actually saw the existence of Luminous, and we are not seeing the existence of Undying for a long, long time, but he is in this game. One of the most fun hero to watch because he runs in, he dives, he gets a lot of kills, but there's that Loon again, the looming doom for LGD. Templar Assassin's going to be picked up as well, and here you go, Keeper of the Light. It's going to provide a lot of offensive power, but more importantly, defensive power when you need it as well. But right now, MUFC is really storming out of the gates with 2 aggressive picks because this tri-lane is already looking very, very powerful. How do you stop this?
I don't know. I mean, for anyone who missed the past couple of games, LGD International is currently 5 for 5. That's right. They're 100% win rate when they pick Luna in official matches. Now, it is a very small sample size, but if it ain't broke, why try to fix it? So far, they're content to go for the Luna yet again, but MUFC, like you said, they've got this, some would call unstoppable combo. If they really wanted, they could even go for a Jakiro, but I almost feel that would be a bit overkill. Just too much emphasis on that ridiculous tri-lane. They've got the anti-push they lacked in that game number 1 through the Keeper of the Light Illuminate. They have the Tombstone and the Undying. He's great in the laning stage. I don't know how much he'll do later on. Glaives, just as well as just the bonus damage. You're just going to mow through that zombie armor real quickly. But, I mean, this is definitely different. MUFC, they knew they were giving away Luna. It's obvious LGD are going to take it, so they feel they can stop it, and this is how they want to try and do it.
You know, you talked about the Jakiro being maybe overkill pickup. They could just pick it up and run in mid against Templar Assassin. You know, we saw it again today with Ohio playing that one, and it's a very, very fine matchup if they do want to run that. Dark Seer's still in the pool. We've seen LG been using it to great effects. Brack's been playing it very well, stacking both mech and pipe, just basically a running utility-based hero and just providing a lot of support. But yeah, it is going to be a Jakiro. It could be the tri-lane. It could be solo mid, most likely the former. And this tri-lane is looking extremely dominant. The question is for LGD is, do you want to pick a similarly powerful tri-lane and try to match that, which I don't think is possible against Undying, or do you want to just kind of dodge that tri-lane and, you know, you push our towers, we'll push yours?
Well, yeah, I don't know how you deal with this tri-lane. I mean, assuming it is, like you said, it could be a solo mid Jakiro. That's something we have seen out of MUFC, and like you mentioned, it does well against TA in the laning stage. It doesn't really crush her, but it's good against her. More importantly, it gives you a very highly leveled Jakiro, which means you're going to get 3-4 ice paths off in a fight unless you get caught out of position. LGD, I mean, a little bit different with the TA, picking it up here. Again, not going for the jungler. Well, I mean, they have the jungler and the Darkseer, but not going for really the strong early game pusher. Going for more of a mid game. It is a pretty sick team fight with Glaives, with Psyblades, with Vacuum to set it up. It's not quite, you know, our four-digit damage crits from a Sven Vacuum Cleave, but it's a lot of AoE. It's a lot of crap bouncing around and hurting you. MUFC, I mean, where do you go from here? What are we thinking for them the rest of the way? They don't really have a carry. The Tinker has been banned out, so they can't turn to that. The Prophet is available. It's something we have seen them turn to. I'm just curious. They tried the anti-major game 1. Didn't really seem effective. We're not going to see a Clinks this game, so maybe it would work better. But what are you thinking for MUFC? That's the real curiosity to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, with this tri-lane, they have somewhat of a versatility in terms of the carries that they could pick up. But on the same time, you're limited from, you know, you don't really want an anti-mage to really top solo. He can. I mean, he definitely can. Or since we're on the Radiant side, bot solo, as we are looking here. You don't want to run to a Darkseer in a 1v1 situation if, for example, you're going with the anti-mage. With that said, again, you don't really know what the lane matchup they're facing against in LGD. Darkseer against this particular tri-lane, he's going to be decent because it's very difficult for the Radiant to actually kill that particular creep that's Iron Shelled. They're not exactly high damage against creeps overall. They're just pretty decent against heroes. So I feel like LG is actually decent prepared for this trialing. They just have to dodge it and put the Darkseer in the lane, and they should be fine.
I want to point out there is actually a bounty hunter in the pool, and it's funny because he was just like auto first pick for IG back at the start of G1. It's still the same patch, but so much has changed since then. Teams have found ways to deal with it. Oh man, look at all this early game just prowess from MUFC. They get the net Nyx assassin. I think
so. It is going to be a solo mid Jakiro, right? From the look of things.
I guess so. I mean, I think they're going to run, Nyx Assassin, Undying Keep of the Light as the tri-lane. Net going to be on that Nyx. I guess we're looking at an Ohio Jakiro. They don't have any real physical damage, but they have a crap ton of lockdown.
You got zombies. You got zombies. That's your physical damage.
Do you like this? I mean, this is, I don't want to say quite cheesy. It really comes down to the last pick, but it's bordering on cheese.
I mean, it's looking pretty...
It's pretty good, right?
It's pretty good, but like it's so dependent on your first about 5 minutes of gameplay. And I love this pick up here, Rubik. The Fable is no joke. You are already cutting it short on physical DPS output. That Fable would just make your right hits look, pathetic. If you steal Tombstone, hey, you steal Tombstone. So there's very good spells to steal from any of these heroes. Illuminate, Chakra, those are great spells to steal. There is an anti-mage being picked up. If you get Jakiro's, any of his spells, it's good. So I imagine it is going to be anti-mage on the safe lane, but
yeah,
now that's Darkseer. No matter which lane he's going to go into, he's going to have grand old time.
Oh, yeah, I mean, anti-mage can 1v1 versus Darkseer. You pull him some regen, and he just rushes that Ring of Health or the Tranquil Boots. Either way, once he gets it, I mean, it's not fun. It's still annoying. You got to spend a lot of time regen. You've got to be careful about your positioning. But I've seen that a lot of the Asian teams have run the anti-mage 1v1 against Darkseer in G1 and now in GEST. I don't think we've seen it yet, but it's normally works out decently for the anti-mage. I don't think I've seen him get crushed because it's all about the pooling of the regen. Without that, he'd have some trouble, but with it, he's usually fine. So I'm guessing offensive tri-lane, anti-mage solo in the safe lane, and then a Jakiro solo mid. This does give them quite a bit of late game now with the anti-mage pick, and if he has that 1v1 versus Darkseer, yes, Darkseer gets a lot of farm, but so too does anti-mage. I quite like MUFC's draft, and I'm curious if LGD can, if they can pull it off, what MUFC seems to have picked, like the perfect lineup to punish the mid-game timings, then, I mean, then you just got to ban Luna against them, right?
Well, I mean, again, it comes down to laning as well. I mean, again, LG could try to tri-lane versus tri-lane, which I do not recommend. They could dodge the tri-lane. They could even put Templar Assassin on a different lane because they know Jakiro is going to be going mid, at least with this kind of lineup. Enchantress is going to be jungler, so we might expect somewhat of a more standard laning presence coming from LG. 1437 is going to be playing Rubik, support once again Pycat on the Luna, and most likely Misery will be playing Enchantress. Templar Assassin going to be handled by G, and last but not least,
Brax on the Darkseer.
Of course. Is he tired of that hero yet?
He got to play Clockwork today, so he, it's like they'll let him have like a slice of pie, and then he's back to
Like,
nothing but cookies for the next month.
Slave labor playing Darkseer on that long lane, man. It's tough.
It is, and I gotta say, MUFC have really, a lot of the punishment has been directed Brax's way in both games, and well, he took it like a champ in game number 2 and was, he did what he had to do to turn that game around. He had a couple of really big fights. Even in game 1 when Brax got shut down, I thought he played quite well. He almost saved the Clinks when he had that gem. He almost surged him away, mech'd him up. He's done a lot for this team, but he hasn't really had that spectacular team fight they've been hoping for just yet. Let's see if he can pull it off here today. Of course, we'll show the players. Brax going to that suicide lane. Pycat playing the Luna is rushing up. Ooh, Lumi, they're pulling something sneaky out of the hat. They're trying to mess with the lanes. It looks like a Luna solo mid. Rushing the bottle. Misery on that defensive jungle. Enchantress. 1437 on the Rubik with the smoke already picked up. And G also rushing a bottle, but it looks like he's headed to the safe lane.
And again, you know the Jakiro is going to be mid. You know Jakiro is going to own your Templar Assassin, so you might as well throw up the equation a little bit. If you look at Jakiro, if you don't believe me, look at Jakiro right now. He is saving for that quick bottle as well, so he's definitely going mid. Ohio's going to be handling that. We have X-Freedom playing the Undying, and Net's going to be handling his world-famous Nyx Assassin. Link's going to be handling the Keeper of Light, and last but not least, Sharky is going to be on the anti-mage. Sharky's been having a very, very rough day. Just like how all the attention's directed on Brax on LGD, and most of the attention has been directed to Sharky. He had a tough Storm lane in game 2, and game 1 was just a nightmare that he wants to wake up from with his anti-mage.
Oh, man, tell me about it.
We'll see how it goes. Let's see if we're going to see one of those games that has about 20 lane switches, or if one of the team's going to man up and be like, yeah, you know what, we'll take this lane, no big deal.
I mean, I'm still really interested to see how can LGD deal with this offensive tri-lane. I feel what I'm expecting to see is them just try and pressure, maybe set up an early first blood mid. That's what we saw in game number 1, right? It was the solo mid. I think that was game number 1 of this series. The solo mid Jakiro. Actually, that might have been the series before you cast with me. But they ran a solo mid Jakiro, and well, the early smoke gank was attempted. I think that was actually the Taker. Yeah, that's the Taker, but Jakiro's kind of the same, man, they're all blurring together. It's been like 8 games today already, but it's sort of the same thing in the sense that Jakiro is a fairly clunky immobile hero, so pretty easy to smoke gank. I don't know what they can do against this tri-lane except avoid the tri-lane. I mean,
well, they're not avoiding it right now. Templar Assassin's going to have somewhat of a tough time. Her defensive capability is not going to do too much against this particular lane, but on the same note, what are you really going to do with this particular lane? You really need levels to start pushing, and you can see that's exactly what Ned is going for. He wants to just go for pools. They all want at least level 2, and there you go. Some snazzy heroes being drawn out on the map, and that's exactly what he wants. And similarly, we do see a little bit of pulling action. Now, normally against a tri-lane, you don't really want to do the pulls because you don't want them to take on your towers. Well, that push is not coming right now. And by pulling, 1437 gets EXP in the jungle, and more importantly, G gets EXP as a creep wave. Was supposedly drawn in tower, but of course there's a counter pull on the other side, so just a lot of pulling.
Lots of pulling on the other 2 lanes. It is just a lot of farming, and speaking of farming, this is Pycat in his real comfort zone. He's already got 5 and 4 in 1 minute in. This is what Pycat, this was really, I mean, I think for a lot of people, he was the best European carry, bar none. If not the best Western carry in general going into the international.
Black will have something to say with that.
Yeah, but I feel like Pycat did a little bit more overall, like especially before that event. Certainly, he's up there in the conversation. We could all agree about that. And well, he's off to a fantastic start. 7 and 5, has the bottle, has chewed through a lot of his tangos. Jakiro very annoying to lane against. He has gone for a point in liquid fire, great for harassment. I'm a little surprised at how aggressive G is being in this lane. Do they have sentries?
No, not yet. At least I
do
not
on
expect
that.
the
They do on
Templar.
that.
Yeah. Oh, they do now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe it was delivered. In any case, I love the fact that how Ohio's playing this. He literally, when he saw the Luna right in the mid lane, just went straight in, clicked liquid fire, and just right clicked them.
And he's maxing it.
Yeah, he is maxing it. It's a great amount of harass against. If you just right click on a hero, it's constant. What, 20 damage, 15 damage? It stacks up very quickly, and that's why he's running through his tango. Look at that. His HP is just dropping slowly.
It's almost like a Venomancer auto attack in a set when he's got Poison Stain, where it's like a nice little additional bonus damage every time you attack. Well, every time it's off cooldown anyway. Misery's entire jungle has been severely punished. Speaking of players that are not, being hated upon, he certainly is this game. Now they want to try and set up something bottom, but it's actually Brax taking a lot of tower damage. He's trying to bait Sharky into this gank, but I don't know that it's going to work. Here comes a hasted 1437. Sharky has a South, has Blink, has 2 points in Spell Shield. Ultra defensive build from him. Although he hasn't gone for any points in stats yet, but they come in, they will start this off with the telekinesis after a single auto attack. They're trying to bait that blink away. Sharky blinks, it looks like the perfect direction. Oh, maybe not. The Centaur is mad. He's angry. He's out for blood, and Sharky's got blink in 3 seconds. I think he's gonna live. Oh, he salves and he'll survive and doesn't even fully have to leave the lane. But they can push. They found the weak point in this lane, and this is something they've done before earlier in the tournament. In their series, their first series today is, if they see you running a weak, safe lane solo, they'll just send the jungler down to that bottom lane instead. Yeah,
and that's exactly what they're doing right now. Very unfortunate that 1437 was not level 2. A single Fable would have done it. Perhaps Misery has missed a chainstone with a Centaur. I didn't see the anti-mage being locked down. In any case, did not get the kill, but they're working towards that tower. Back in the mid lane here, checking on the farm. Twinhead or Jakiro in this case, not really, controlling. He's only got 11. Meanwhile, 21 on Pycat. He might be taking a lot of damage, but the raw plus damage of Luna's Blessing is really allowing him to control this lane and denying and now harassing a lot.
Oh, man. He is not having fun. Almost gets picked off again, is forced to blink away. Tower's gonna fall real soon, and like you said, that Luna is having a grand old time at 22 and 13. Boy, oh boy. That's 36 last hits in 4 minutes. Unbelievable.
It seems like we're going to have Undying actually porting right, and he's going to be scouted, so I really dislike this change. That bot lane is done. It's over. Sharky has lost a tower. Really nothing an Undying could do. Now X-Freedom in an awkward position.
And now G's getting so aggressive top. There is going to be a spike. And this is what happens when you... Well, uh-oh. He's also level 5. He's gotten a lot more than I thought he would, but now he's running a long way from home. He's going to juke back around. He's going to turn Refraction back on, just trying to escape, just trying to survive. He could buy a TP scroll and try to TP out. No, he's going to go inside of Mel. Now the blast. First blood. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, huge action break out. 14:37 dropping low, but it will be a kill coming for Sharky. This lane falling apart a tiny bit. Nope, they'll be okay. If Misery dies there, that's real bad. But 1 for 1. You're giving Sharky a kill, yes, but you got the tier 1. So all in all, I think both teams getting a decent amount. I wouldn't say a huge advantage. For me, the big thing is that PyCat is just getting ridiculously farmed and leveled.
Yep. Also, the cool thing about that little bit of exchange, that MUFC supports got a little bit farm. MUFC supports not used to actually having a lot of EXP in farm. They used to play this game with no item, no goal. I don't know how they do it. But now that getting some pocket, they go in their pocket, they are going to be playing a little bit with more confidence and a little bit more effectiveness for the team as well. Sharky, now in the safety of his tier 2, perhaps could farm up. Only 400 gold in the bank, but the courier is delivering that very crucial ring of health, and that's going to allow him to stay in the lane. And this twin head has not really done too much. When you run a twin head mid, you expect to be pushing the lane, constantly harassing the tower, grabbing every single rune, and basically nuke the hell out of whoever's against you. He has not done that,
and now he's level 6. And do you really want to dive him? There's always Eclipse, and it's just so brutal. I don't know. I'm loving LGD. Like they picked almost an identical lineup to what we've seen out of them all GEST challenge long, and even to a certain extent in the G League qualifiers. But they're just making these little adjustments that it's not quite a new strategy, but it's certainly a fresh coat of paint, and it seems to have caught MUFC almost entirely by surprise.
Here we go, mid lane here. They did pop the DD. There is Impale. There is going to be Macro Power and Ice Path. Perfect chain stun so far. One more hit. The last tick of that Macro Power. Gonna get the kill. Great gank. Well, you talked about the Eclipse being there, but if he's chain stun, never going to get that Eclipse off. Great double damage being used by Ohio as well. Perfect play, and that's going to get him his Arcane Boots, and that's going to force 1437 to TP in the lane to steal a little bit of XP.
Sharky, they got the early tier 1, but we've seen this, I think, most notably back in the BTS World Tour against Burning. If you push that early tier 1, I'm not saying Sharky's Burning, of course, but if you push that early tier 1 and then you stop, or you decide to let up on the pressure, then it just creates a very safe place for Anti-Mage to farm middle lane. They go into Ohio, they want to bring him down pretty quickly. This is a long way to dive. A nice Ice Path could turn this around, but he completely, well, he gets 1437, but not nearly enough. He's going all in. The Illuminate not going to be in range. PyCat dropping low. Ohio lives with the bottle charges. PyCat didn't want to risk the trade, just chooses to back off. Now a fresh Illuminate being channeled. And it's counter ganking that comes with no stuns or disables, just pure damage and AoE driving LGD back.
Man, I do believe it was a miss up the hill that actually saved Twin Head Dragon. It was very, very close. Luna just turned back thinking the last set of Enchantress would have gotten it. In any case, they didn't, and that was not too good. Meanwhile, though, despite Templar Assassin facing against a tri-lane, Phase Boot level 7 in about 8 minutes.
Outfarming really... PyCat. He was like 40, he was like 20 CSP, not 40, like 20 or 30 behind. That's unbelievable.
That's just a sign of good player. I mean, against a tri-lane, he was playing defensive because he had to be. As soon as the Undying left, he was playing ultra aggressive to the point that he even gave up first blood. But when you're playing ultra aggressive like this, you are going to pick up more farm because your next creep wave a little bit more. Twin Head Dragon coming up in top lane here. LGD, G still, again, he's looking like he constantly wants a fight.
Right, and why? You know, it's just it's sort of, in a weird way, it's like what we saw with the Cliques earlier, or STA in game number 1 to a certain extent, where, you know, even when you're not actually trying to fight, just the threat of you trying to really affects how your opponents react. I gotta say, although the one nice thing is the Enchantress has created a lot of space. By pressuring that bottom lane, they drew supports down there, and that created some opportunities for G to farm. It's a twin-headed dragon lurking in the trees. Will G get caught by this? Will he be caught unawares? Now the Macro Pyre and the Ice Path, all the AoE in the world. In comes the Undying and the Illuminate. Well, they get G, but they are looking to lose a tier 2 bottom. And I'm not sure they get anything else, so I think a trade that LGD is willing to make. Although they got the AM while that was happening.
Oh wow, that's a big win for them. But MUFC looking to take that tier 1 and perhaps even go straight for the tier 2. But here we go, Enchantress in the jungle. Arcane Boots already finished. She is going to be back in about 11 seconds. Really don't think that she could actually do too much. So the best move that the Dire team could make right now is to knock down the tier 2 and even threaten for the high ground, force a couple to be. No, they're not going to be doing that. They're going to go back and try to reinforce Will MUFC stop? Both teams been somewhat passive in today's game. As to say that G is not a passive player, as massive TPs are coming right now. Trap number one's gonna drop on X Freedom. Gotta drop a Tombstone. There's a Tombstone being dropped.
Oh no!
And the focus goes on the Tomb. Immediate nice meld strike against the Tomb. Enchantress is dead immediately. Meanwhile, G taking focus from 3. His meld, his refraction charge is all done, and oh, G goes down a second time. And this push, this is why you don't fight against Undying, because he just does so much. I mean, Tombstone needs to be focused. He needs to be focused because he's, draining HP for your entire team. It's just a lot. And of course, the Plague Aura at the Flesh Golem is no joke. It's amplified in AoE.
I'm exactly like you said. I'm very surprised they tried to fight that, especially with the Luna Eclipse speed on cooldown. Maybe if your Eclipse is up and they're really overextending, then you can just get that burst damage, instantly kill MUFC off. But you could just be split pushing, pressure that mid lane, farm the enemy jungle. I think it's okay to give up that tier 1 top. You've got some fairly mobile heroes that can farm a little bit aggressively and probably get away safely. Heroes like the TA, the Darkseer. To me, that's just, it's not playing to the strength of your lineup, which was the big thing about LGD in game number 2. They played beautifully to the strength of their lineup. It was great at 5-man, it was great at pushing aggressively early on. That's what they did. Now they're up against a 5-man lineup, but they try and force a fight. They're not the end of the world by any means. They're still getting some decent farm. In fact, TA leading the way, Darkseer tied with the farm lead, but for me, it's a little questionable to do that. Either way, they're going to push mid now on the side of MUFC, and LGD, I expect them not to fight this.
Look at Ned on the backline finding Brax. The force is not even going to be needed as a burst damage is going to bring him down. A buyback from Darkseer. They want to fight this one more time. TP and Vacuum's going to grab a couple. There's a Vacuum just on net. And again, Tombstone's going to be available. So this is a very aggressive buyback. They're making sure to defending these towers.
Oh, no.
But look at 1437. He is going to just melt. And now Brax in a little bit of trouble as well. Walking in his net about half HP. Tier 1 tower is going to go down. Go for trades, my friends. And that's exactly what they're doing. Tier 1 tower is going to get brought down. And the question is, should the tier 2 be defended? I think that's when you really got to put your foot down, but it seems like MUFC doesn't even think about that for now, as they're looking for the tier 1 on the bot lane. Pycat fighting against Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage still going perhaps. This game you go Vanguard Vlads, right? Or do you want to be greedy and go Battle Fury for the late game insurance?
I think you just go Vanguard. I mean, honestly, you don't need to farm that much because your team you just put so much pressure on. I guess you can go for the Battle Fury. It's not that it wouldn't work, but I just feel like the Vanguard, it fits what your team wants to do, which is just constantly pressure, counter gank, turn fights around. It seems perfect to me anyway, but G is going to narrowly dodge an ice path on the top lane. Ohio charges into the middle of, well, what could have been in the middle of a few heroes, but now on the bottom lane, it's Undying is overextended. They're going to pick off X Freedom. He's played great as a stand-in today, but, well, it's been a long day for a lot of these players. 9 hours, not playing constantly, but since the event was scheduled to start anyway. And, well, Sharky gets caught in the jungle. There's a haste run on Pycat. Will he actually eclipse for this? He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. That blink is still cooling down. They don't want to blow it just yet. They want to force out one more blink. Sharky will blink away. Now chasing forward the surge and the trap. Sharky's got to find some Woe Dota moment. He won't. And this is how LGD want to fight. They don't want to 5v5 you. They just want to pick you off one at a time. And Lumi will be back in a few short minutes, guys, but in the meantime, we soldier on here. I wanted to mention before all that action broke out, Lane had a really early mechanism. They have 2 tier 1s, but this is also just that support Keeper of the Light coming into play. One of the things he can do really well. Sure, he doesn't have a stun. Sure, he doesn't have as much utility as other supports, but he's got the ability to flash farm those key support items. Early mech on him. We see the pipe coming out soon for the Undying. I believe there's a set of arcane boots. There is on the Nyx assassin. Speaking of which, Net is already almost level 9. Really high leveled. As far as gold goes, it is actually a bit of a lead for LGD.int, so they're holding on as far as gold goes. As far as experience goes, though, it is MUFC with the advantage, but that experience graph, a bit easier to turn around. Getting kills on over-leveled heroes will just turn that around in a jiffy. The pressure continues mid. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage continue to farm bottom. He has tipped his hand. It will be a Battle Fury. Blink Dagger up on the TA. So the aggressive items that want to force the issue coming out. I'm very surprised by Sharky's skill build. This, to me, is not the correct build at all. You're up against Impetus, which is pure damage. You're up against the physical damage of Meld, Refraction, and the Lunar Glaives. I just combined 2 of the abilities tonight. The Lunar Blessing. It's all physical or pure damage. Spellshare doesn't help you against that. For me, you either go Birdie build, or you just max Blink, just to farm a little bit more quickly. To go To go for so many points of spell shield just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand this build at all. I guess it helps against Iron Shell a little bit, but to me it's just not the right way to go. They're going to catch out lane. LGD just finding these openings, or maybe, oh yeah, that's a huge opening for them, and they're going to pounce. They focused on the Tombstone, easy peasy, and that was something else we talked about. Oh, there's a nice Mana Void. He wants the Courier Sharky. Now he wants the hero. He can't make up his mind. Out comes the Eclipse, doing some good damage, but the Illusion is tanking almost all of it, it appears. Brax dropping low, still chasing forward. Enchantress joins the fight. Now an Impale on 3, but it's too late. Everybody else has fallen. Now the TP out attempted. Nope, there's your Lucent Beam. Everybody getting stunned, but that will cancel the TP. It's a team wipe for LGD International. Oh man, MUFC were up so much. They just gave up 5 for 1. They just gave up 4 kills as far as the lead goes. Oh boy, now it's only a 2-kill lead. It was a 6-kill lead. That's a lot to give away. It's also going to be Pycat's BKB, and now this Battle Fury Anti-Mage really not looking like the right choice, or not the ideal choice, at least right now. It could work out. It's not that it can't, but you would much rather have a Vanguard when that BKB Luna starts barreling down the mid lane with the Darkseer, who, by the way, has a mech of his own. So LGD is also getting up their support items in short order. The pipe from Undying coming soon. I feel like this one is just coming down to the supports. I mean, honestly, LGD just finding those pickoffs. MUFC, we've seen Net play exceptionally well. We've seen Ohio play exceptionally well on the Nyx, on the Jakiro earlier today, but we're not seeing the clutch Impales, the really well-timed, well-placed ice paths, whereas LGD are landing everything. 1437 doing a good job of keeping vision control over the enemy jungle. Misery doing a great job of just being a nuisance, and you'll see he's not making that decision that we saw in game number 1, going for the Aghanim Scepter, going for the BKB, going for kind of that semi-carry build. This is all about just getting that early Scythe of Ice up, getting that lockdown, because once you have it, Anti-Mage needs a lot more than a Battle Fury to trouble you. And this is really meant to strike at the heart of the weakness in MUFC's lineup. So I love this item decision. I think LGD showing quite a bit of poise in this game number 3. Net is is being chased a little bit. A nice blink away. Look at those fast fingers from G. And this is after a long day, it should be added. This has been a very long day for all the players. I mean, so many games. I'm sure they were scrimming before these matches as well. In comes Darkseer. He's looking for a big vacuum. He's going to find it on 2. Now the Lucent Beam doing some good damage, but Pycat dropping low. Has a BKB. Couldn't get it off forever. Now goes and Fizz dies under the revision of the tower. Oh, this could be such a huge turnaround for MUFC. Sharky slicing and dicing. He's got a Mana Void. He unloads. He gets 2. But now will he pay with his own life? It looks like he will. Net comes in. Net wants to run away. 4 heroes dead. It could be another team wipe momentarily. This was looking like a total disaster for MUFC. It looked great for a moment. They killed off Pycat. He blew his 10-second BKB on top of it, but G is here, and G is looking rather fearsome. The beauty of running this Luna as your one position, and we're seeing it now, is you don't really have to pick. You can, or rather, you can get away with picking another hero that does some damage. You can pick other semi-carries, and you can still have really strong lanes, a really strong mid-game. LGD looking really strong right now. As far as gold goes, a huge lead for them. Over 5K. As far as experience goes, a bigger lead for them. Over 4K. More importantly, though, it's not about those numbers. It's about the items, and we're seeing all sorts of items coming out. TA, getting fairly close to a BKB. Actually, oh no, it's not a BKB. It's a Desolator. Oy, oy, oy. This is aggressive. Hey, with the Aegis, why the hell not? In fact, did he just finish his Desolator?
Looks like
welcome back, Gloomy.
Coming back from the chicken. Thank you for having me back. The team fight getting themselves another Aegis. It's looking more and more like we're gonna see the 100% win rate being retained. You talked about the lagging power that the Luna gives you. Unfortunately, there's not much lagging power on the other end. Of course, there is an anti-mage, but he's still struggling to find that Battle Fury. Generally, a very farm anti-mage gives you what, a 12, 13-minute Battle Fury. He's far off, and again, one of those times where I feel like Vanguard Vlad is a little bit better.
Right, I'm completely with you on that. I mean, I think this is the second time we've seen it. It worked out in game 1, but I feel it wasn't because of the anti-mage's build. It was because of the team, the Tinker, and to a lesser extent, the Prophet, of course, the Nyx Assassin. The supporting cast made that possible. 1437 might die to this Urn Charge. One more auto attack should be enough. He stole Spike Carapace. Oh, he still dies, though. That could have been huge.
I thought for sure the level up would save him, as he did level up in that engagement, but it was not enough. Brax now doing a little bit of harass, pressure in the creep wave a little bit, and that's a big pile of creeps, and Anti-Mage wish he has that Battle Fury finish in the face of this. Unfortunately, they do not. And you can see Undying is really tapering off in terms of his power. Same thing with heroes like Keeper of the Light and Twin Head Dragon. They really put a lot of the early game. Look at G playing ultra aggressive right now. Sense the fact they have to lead. Forces Tombstone to be dropped. And there's whoa.
Oh.
G is gonna get his Aegis burned out very quickly, which is fine. They actually drew the Tombstone, very defensive use, but G cannot die right here. The Force is coming right now, but good refraction. Vacuum backwards here. They're still fighting under Tombstone like it does not exist. Tier 2 is gonna get brought down, and to be honest, they could wait to push this Tier 3 as well, but no, they want the Tier 2 in the mid lane. Of course, Pycat's gonna farm on the bot lane as well. No, did he cancel his TP? Or Ice Path got it?
What can Net do? He's made so many big plays over the course of the series. He can hit a 2-man impale, and the Illuminate to follow it up a lot of damage, but is it enough? G now gets locked down. Oh man, that was a pretty great play, but they get backing back into the wall. Good damage. Net once more. He's gonna hunt that Enchantress on the other side of play. It's just an army of illusions chasing everyone away. Can Net really score another kill here? Misery so low. Misery so low, but he wands up. He's gonna live. Oh, the frustration must be mounting for Net. He's just making so many big plays, but it's just not enough. Now he dies. Monster kill for G. God is killing them all this game.
And now it seems like Undying wants a little bit of as well. He does have Tombstone, does drop it, but does not have any points. That's Soul Rip to heal himself back up. Tombstone gets forfeited as well, and that's an extra gold going into somebody's pocket. LGD is going to continue with that push. Luna has been dying in these engagements, so they're doing one thing correct. They're focusing down the Luna, really making sure that he is not going to do the late game carry. Unfortunately, though, G is getting a lot of these kills.
Right, and even when they're killing him, they're blowing so much to do it because he's got the BKB, so really it just comes down to auto attacks. Even if you get a couple of stuns, if you don't kill her, then it takes a good 3-4 seconds before you bring her down, during which time, well, this courier might die. 1437 thinking about going on it. Has stolen Impale. And oh, G picked it off. You saucy little bastard. He snags the courier kill, more gold into LGD's pocket. And now they're in their comfort zone, Lumi, because they've got all the outer towers down. This time around, I would say they have the late game, even though there's an anti-mage. He's not nearly farmed enough to outcarry a massive TA, a Darkseer, and of course a Luna helping them all get quite a bit bigger. It's over 12k gold and experience lead. I think the pressure's really on MUFC.
Yeah, it really is, and to be honest, Anti-Mage does not have nearly the farm to even compete against one of these carries, let alone two, so if they want to win this game, they have to massively turtle. I mean, like, we're talking about Chinese eHome 2010 turtle status. They gotta take this game at least to 20, 30, even more, 30 minutes of gameplay, and that's assuming that, you know, the Dire team won't push, just assuming that you're not going to get ganked, you're not going to get picked off. A lot of things have to go right for MUFC to even have a chance to win this game.
And you know, it goes back to the draft where you talked about MUFC. They picked a lot of heroes that get banned that are, you know, some teams consider broken or extremely. Oh no, that's not where you want to be, Sharky. Oh ho ho, that's
the difference between this game's Enchantress and the first game Enchantress, where she went for DPS because her team needed it. This game, they have two great DPS and she's going to be playing a little bit more utility. That Hex doing so much in that gank right there.
Oh, Net's gotten spotted. Will he try to TP away? It's on cooldown. Oh, Net, you cheeky little bugger. Uh-oh. Oh, he dodges the impale. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's too much.
I guess you're mortal then.
Yeah, that's too much indeed. And we're going to see a quick push coming from LGD. LGD is looking like a different team when they run this Luna. Seems like you said, it fits their playstyle. They just know what this hero's supposed to do. I guess they practice this strat quite a bit because
it's not only the Luna. I mean, I think Brax's Darkseer plays a big role. You know, even when you get shut down, it comes at a big cost, an investment from the enemy supports to try and shut him down. But yeah, I'm with you. I think the Luna it's really the fulcrum of the strategy.
Here comes the tier 2 push on that tower, and the items are just on a different level. We do see another 2k gold on Luna. Courier's coming as well. Tier 2 gonna get destroyed. You might have Keeper of Light, but Keeper of Light against things like Mech and an almost finished pipe is really not exactly where you want to be. Courier is going to be delivering a Black King bar. I do believe that's for G. He does pick it up, and G already plays so aggressive just by the fact that, oh man, I got Refraction and Mail. Let's just jump in against 4. Now he's got BKB. Everybody's dead.
He's fat, man. And what do they do against this? They have no roar. They have no, well, RP. They have nothing to deal with this BKB. They can't even really kite him. I mean, they don't even have something like Surge to help them get away. AM can blink, but then he just watches as his teammates fall one by one. And I almost want to say LGD can just if they wanted to, they could just start slow pushing this. Just, you know, use BKB charges to work the tower down. Maybe, you know, just send that Luna in as well. She's got one too. I think they've got a lot of ways to win this game, and I don't think they really have to take many risks to try and go high ground.
And yeah, that's why they're kind of just chilling, making sure they're farming for core items. Luna still looking quite squishy despite the Black King bar. Only have that BKB. I'm very surprised I haven't picked up like something like a not point booster, ultimate orb, or just a Yasha. I think Manta style is still a very great choice. We saw what Luna plus Manta could do in an enemy base in the previous game, and it's good to really try to recreate that. And but seems like he's just content. Maybe he's gonna go for a straight butterfly. No, there's an ultimate beam bot. Yeah,
the Mantis, like you said, because it's not just the fact that the glaives bounce for the illusions, it's the way he micros them. So it's just like an endless wind tunnel of glaives just flying at you from all directions. It honestly looks like he's in like an aeronautics. The enemy team is like in an aeronautics testing facility, and stuff's just being blown all over the place, and you're just like holding something above your head, trying to hang on for dear life. It's brutal, and that just allows them to siege, and that's really what I think LGD want to do to complete this game. Don't get caught in an amazing ice path or, you know, one of Net's signature 5-hero impales. Just sit back, farm up your items, maybe find a kill or two, but otherwise just siege with the Manta, siege with the BKB charges, and with the Desolator as well. These towers are going to fall pretty fast.
Sharky working towards a BKB. That's going to be, oh, looks like G is trying to lay a big trap for that anti-mage. You're going to try to work on that. G really needs another kind of disable stun. Anti-mage plus blink out. G right on the track. There's one slow, but Sharky should have to blink momentarily, and he's going to be back out. Very interesting to see that Net didn't really go for it, but of course with that refreshing up, really get a hard time to get a kill on that Templar Assassin.
Plus he's always got the BKB, so the Mono Void's not going to damage him. It is just not, it's no picnic right now for MUFC. And one thing I want to go back to with the draft, and you talked about how Jakiro, well, really the first 4 heroes for MUFC are not high impact if the game goes late and you're not ahead. For me, the biggest thing is that Ohio's playing a Jakiro. We've seen him play a lot of heroes that are effective at all stages of the game, or at least at most, whether it's Shadow Fiend, whether it's Tinko. Jakiro, he's amazing in the early to mid game. You can have a huge impact as a supporter, even as a farmer, but it's just the potential to have that impact is so much smaller when, well, when the enemy team has to be grouped up as 4 or 5 for you to make it happen. So I feel that's also what we're seeing is a player who's got a ton of talent, has showcased it today. Just hit the hero that was chosen for him at this point in the game. There's nothing he can do. I mean, what can Ohio really do? We're not going to see that amazing Ghost Scepter, Blink Dagger, you know, Scythe of Ice, just that rotating, whirling whirlwind of disables and annoyances. Like, he can't do that with Jakiro. It's just not something that he can do.
Well, I mean, of course, Tinker also gets the goal to farm up for those big, you know, crazy Yule Scepter, Blink, all those kind of good items that you could use. Jakiro's not exactly the best flash farmer, so he's kind of just chilling there, waiting for the creeps to be taken by Sharky. So, you know, I guess in the right situation, that Macropyre is still a very intimidating spell, but when you're stacking BKBs on Luna and Templar Assassin on the other side, sure, you could hit a nice Macropyre, but it's on supports, and you don't really care about that.
Well, Sharky doing what he can. Just split pushing, pressuring that bottom lane. And then LGD, they're going to hunt him. They're not going to let him free farm this. They may not kill him. Although, with the Rubik Telekinesis, if you get Telekinesis, I think you're probably dead to a big
or the Hex. And there you go. Blink, Maelstrom, that's going to do a lot. I do believe he went a little bit too far ahead, G. Really needs his support to go in first, whether it's the Scythe of Vice or the Telekinesis. And that's going to give Anti-Mage a little bit of farm time. He does see a decent-sized creep wave on the top. And it's very surprising, again, to see LGD not pushing, because at this point, sure, again, you're dealing with Dual Breath, you know, Illuminate. You still could at least poke up and force that Anti-Mage to not be free farming, which he is doing so right now.
Well, they want another rush, and I guess living in China has paid off in that sense. That's the increased emphasis on Roche, something I've noticed from LGD compared to... well, I mean, no Tidehunter definitely loves the Roche, yeah, but for most Western teams, they'll certainly go for it, but it's not quite as high of a priority.
It's more like on the way, you know, let's pick it up.
This is like we're gonna plan a road trip to Roche.
They do plan that one out. We do see the Man style almost being finished, and I think that's exactly what they're waiting for. Aegis and the Manta, and that's when really the push started to commence. Pycat's got to be extremely careful with his Manta illusions. They are very squishy, and there's more than enough AoE to blow them apart. Meanwhile, a big trapping late against G on the top. This is what Net does best. He's always kind of where you don't expect them to be, because 29 minutes in, when you're down by 5 kills against a team that has vastly more late game power, you don't expect there is a Nyx assassin trying to gank you like in front of your tier 2. But he does that, and that's why his Nyx is just like really good.
I mean, it gets to that point where it's like, okay, maybe we need to give him a flavor name, at least in Dota 1, of Net, because he's just playing it that damn well.
The Net assassin. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, I love it. It's a little corny, but that's what I'm all about, as most people who ever listen to me cast probably know at this point. I mean, they are, you know, it has to be said, MUFC are very far behind, but, you know, I talked about it in Game 1. We've seen it a lot today. They are a very patient and kind of persevering team. They're not going to give up until they really are beat. Well, this might...
Uh-oh. Net is going to run straight in. There is a gem up on the dire side. It is on, of course, Brax. Very, very tanky here. Again, Brax been playing this very utility-based for the last 3 games in a row, where his mech piped straight up. And that is a very, very valuable target if you can bring him down. But what burst damage really is there for the Radiant team? The burst was very, very respectable early on, but now Illuminate's kind of a joke, especially when he has pipe up. So they really can't just kill Brax outright.
Speaking of burst damage, G picked up a Yasha and a Crystalist. Just look at the far... Can we just go back to the beginning of this game? He was up against it, probably the dream tri-lane, right? I mean, at least for being obnoxious in the lane. Undying Kodal and Knix is just so much chain stun. Oh my god, how is he the most farmed hero in the game? It's unbelievable. So well played by him today.
Hype allows the Luna Illusion to walk up on the high ground and let the Glaive party begin, because again, Migraine Illusion making sure they don't all tank up, sending one forward, that's going to tank up and pretty much die. And they're going to still have a little bit of trouble pushing this in. Again, Illuminate, still one of the best defensive spells. There is a vacuum, and now they're going to focus on Ling. Ling, half HP, immediately look at the Mel Strike, immediate damage. There's one dead, and everybody gets driven back. That Eclipse not really doing too much, but you broke the high ground. Tombstone's down, Glyph is down, and those Glaives, again, oh my goodness. It's not even fun. Look at that. It's just free damage happening everywhere.
Oh boy. 1437 with a nice Vendetta auto attack. They're doing a lot. They're going to pick up a double kill on the Pycat. And Lumi, this looks like LGD advancing into the grand finals to be played tomorrow. And that, remember, for this event, for those who aren't familiar with the format, best out of 3 double elimination with 4 teams competing. But only first place gets money. First place gets 1,500, the rest gets squat. So, hey, having that 1-game advantage, I mean, they're not there yet, but realistically, how is MUFC going to stop this? I just don't see it happening. I
don't see it either here in this mid. Oh, here comes Anti-Mage. A fun stop now. Gets 1 kill. Okay, just kidding.
Wow. So LGD International, certainly a strong team. I mean, they've got some big names from the Western scene. I think Pycat, G, Misery, I mean, really all these guys. Even sort of the somewhat newer players in 1437 and Brax have just played. They're a team. I mean, they're not just a collection of individuals. I'm very impressed.
They are a team.
Well, no, but it's more than you could say.
2012 quotes.
But you know what I mean, right? I mean, this is more than you could say for a lot of teams that have been playing together for longer than them. They are very coordinated. We're seeing some of the benefits of living in a training house, playing against the Chinese team. Sure, I don't think they've played their best today at all points. I don't think this is their max potential. But I'm very impressed by what I've seen. How long have they been there? A month and a half? 2 months? It has not been that long.
I'm no pro player by any means, but I could really speak, and I'm sure a lot of pros would agree. The fact that you're playing next to your teammates, like physically in an environment, you see them every day and you get to talk and practice, that's a big deal. And having that for a month and a half, playing against some of the best teams in the world, and you know, playing against some of the best players in the world, you improve very, very quickly. And this is the result. They're moving to the grand finals, which will happen tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yeah, tomorrow we have 3 matches coming up. So the first match is going to be LGD CN versus Orange. I think 2 of the teams that, at least on paper, should have been the 1 and 2 seeds, and they were as far as the brackets go. You sort of, I mean, maybe the slight favorites at least to move forward into the winners bracket finals. But they actually were the 2 teams that lost today. So they play first tomorrow. Then the winner of that game plays against MUFC. The winner of that is in the grand finals. All of that happens tomorrow on this very channel. Twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit. The action will kick off. How long is it going to be? I think it's going to be 15 hours from now. So it should start at 2 a.m. EST if you're like me and you live on the East Coast of the United States. 3 p.m. SGT. tomorrow, or it might be today because I think it's just turned over to midnight over in Singapore, over in Southeast Asia. As for Europe, oh god, it's 8 in the morning, 8 a.m. I believe. So yeah, that's when the matches start tomorrow, guys. There will be two best out of threes, followed by a best out of 5 with a 1-game advantage for LGD International. So they are going to be one of your top 2 teams for this event and have the inside track to kind of claim first place. Lumi, it's so good to cast with you again, man. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It was good games. Good to see that LGD International really living up to the hype.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do moving forward. Guys, that wraps it up for today's broadcast. If you enjoyed the cast, if you enjoyed our coverage, be sure to support Lumi. Of course, follow him on Twitter, twitter.com/LuminousInverse. We had Bulba on earlier. He provided some really interesting insight, twitter.com/BulbaDota for him. All the VODs will be up later today on probably a couple on each of our channels. So youtube.com/LuminousInverse, youtube.com/LDDota, and youtube.com/BeyondTheSummitTV. We'll try to put at least a game or 2 on all of them, and we'll make a playlist so it's all easy for you guys to track. But thank you for tuning in. If you want to support Beyond the Summit, subscribe to the stream. It really does go a long way to helping make these events possible, giving us the opportunity to cover these events full time for you guys and bring you the kind of production we brought for G1, except hopefully in the future even better and less overlay snafus. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. That wraps it up for today's coverage. Tomorrow we will be coming back at 2 a.m. EST or 15 SGT, 3 p.m. SGT for LGDCN versus Orange. By the time tomorrow is finished, $1,500 will be going to one of these teams, and LGD.int are on. They're going to be one of the top 2, so great start from them. Can they bring the prize home? We'll find out tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you then.
Okay, Ellie, I gotta go. I'll see you later. Or I should have waited for the outro to be done, right? I didn't know that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, same time. Okay. All right. See you. Bye.